Hey there, everyone. Jim here for Fantasy for the Ages, the show where father and son talk about fantasy, science fiction, and other nerdy things that we enjoy. Just Jim coming at you today with a book blast on the final book of Brandon Sanderson's Year of Sanderson, The Sunlit Man. I realized I read that a while ago now, and I had not created any content on it, so time to fix that. I'm on location at an Airbnb in South Central Washington State today. So I sound a little funny. I've got a whole house to myself as an Airbnb rental, and it's mostly empty and echoey. Oh well, you should be able to hear me. I just sound a little different. If you enjoy this, despite how cavernous my sound is today, be sure to like the episode down below, subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so yet, leave us comments, and look in the show notes for other ways you can connect with Zach and I. So, The Sunlit Man. This is a book firmly in the Cosmere. And I say firmly. Now, again, book blasts are spoiler-lite. I'm not going to ruin the plot of the story. If you haven't read it yet, you can still do so, but you can also still listen to this and not be ruined. But I will say, if you want to read The Sunlit Man and you have not read any of the Cosmere, oh, you funny? Nah, you won't really understand or enjoy this book if you are not a Cosmere nut. Cosmere nut? Anyways, I've read almost everything in the Cosmere, and even so, I felt like I was missing some things here, and this is where I start to wonder if Brandon Sanderson is going too far with his Cosmere stuff. Because there's so many references in this book. On the surface level, the story is a good story. You can just enjoy the story, but you'll feel all the way through it that you're missing things. That there's stuff you ought to understand that you're not understanding. And again, even if you have already read all of the Cosmere stuff that's out there, unless it is brilliantly fresh in your mind, you're going to find yourself going online to double check. Who is that? What's that reference? What's going on? Because it's just nearly impossible to retain everything that Sanderson has put into the Cosmere. Now, if you are a complete Cosmere fan, you don't read anything except Brandon Sanderson has written it and it's part of his Cosmere, okay, you'll be in seventh heaven as you're reading this story. You will get it all. You probably will have needed to have reread some of the Cosmere, maybe all of the Cosmere works. Definitely, you've got to have read the books of the Stormlight Archive, the 4 that are out so far, to have even a clue of the deeper narrative of the Sunlit Man. That all said, I want to say that, maybe it's too much. I started to feel as I was reading this book a little Cosmere exhausted. Should I have to work that hard to remember and appreciate all the little nuances of a story? I like the Cosmere. I do. And yet, I'm not sure I want to reread a lot of it. I've read the Stormlight Archive books once, and I'm not super compelled to go back and read them again because they're a lot. The Sunlit Man is not a long book, and it does move along at a pretty good pace. And again, if you don't understand all of it, you will still potentially enjoy the story. But you'll still feel like something's lacking. And that's where I'm like, maybe Sanderson is overreaching just a little bit here. Just my opinion. I don't know. Those of you who feel otherwise, feel free to let me know. But that's my thoughts on the Sunlit Man. It does involve sunlight. It certainly involves a lot of elements of the Cosmere. And it advances a story for a character that you will have met elsewhere if you've read other books. But now you get to see much more of what's going on. Actually, a couple of characters. But again, spoiler-lite. That's all I got for you. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.